Hi guys, today we're looking at listing outcomes. Our learning intentions for today are by the end of this lesson, you will be able to list outcomes of an event using lists and two-way tables and tree diagrams. Listing probabilities. What we're looking at today is how we can list all of the possible outcomes of something happening. For example, I roll a dice. What are all of the possible outcomes? If I roll a dice, my possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is called a list. We put all of the possibilities inside curly brackets. Let's say you now roll 2 dice. What are all of the possible ways in which you can get a total of 6? Well, you can roll a 1 and a 5. You can roll a 2 and then a 4. You can roll a 3 and a 3, a 4 and a 2, and a 5 and a 1. This gives us all of the possible outcomes in which we can get a 6. This is called a list. A list or a set of all possible outcomes in an experiment is called a sample space. There are different ways of finding the elements of a sample space. Listings, which we just looked at, i.e. you throw a dice, list the possible outcomes. When you're writing a list, you must put all of your possible outcomes inside a curly bracket. Please take this down. Our other way of showing all of the possible outcomes are two-way tables. For example, Emma has a choice of pizza, fish, or chicken for her main course. She can then choose either juice or water to drink. We want to list all of the possible meals she could order. To make a two-way table, we write all of the possible outcomes for her main course in the first column and all of the possible outcomes for her drink in the first row. We then list all of the possible outcomes she could order. Our first outcome is pizza and juice. Our second outcome is chicken and juice. Our third outcome is fish and juice. Our fourth outcome is pizza and water. Our fifth outcome is chicken and water. And our sixth outcome is fish and water. Do you see how we filled in the two-way table? To fill in a two-way table, we read the value that's in your first row and the value that's in your first column. This gives you your possible outcomes. We then read the value that's in the second row and first column, third row and first column, and continue this until we filled in all of the spaces. Our third way of listing all of the possible outcomes is called a tree diagram. We will look at this in more detail in the next video. Today, we are just going to stick to systematic listing and two-way tables. Let's have another look at our two-way tables. I have 2 scarves, one red and one blue, and I have 3 hats, one red, one yellow, and one blue. How many different outcomes can I wear? We will use a two-way table to find all of our different possible outcomes. To draw your two-way table, in your first column, we write all of the possible outcomes for your scarves. Okay, so in our first column, we have all of our possible outcomes of scarves. So my scarf could be red or blue. And then along the top in my first row, I write all of the possible outcomes for my hats. My hats can be red, yellow, or blue. To find our outcomes, we add together our columns and our rows to fill in the table. Our first outfit is a red scarf and a red hat. We'll write red, red. Our second outfit is a blue scarf and a red hat. We'll write blue, red. Can you fill in the rest of the table? Please pause this video and fill in the rest of this table. Okay, now that you've paused the video and filled in the table, let's see if you were correct. What's our next outcome? Well, I can have a red scarf and a yellow hat, or a blue scarf and a yellow hat. Keep going. We can have a red scarf and a blue hat, or we can have a blue scarf and a blue hat. To fill in your sample space, you read the column and the row. How many different possible outfits can I wear? To find the number of possible outfits, we add together all of the possible outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 possible outcomes. Let's try another one. I roll a die that has 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and a spinner with 4 sides, labelled A, B, C, and D. How many possible outcomes are there? To show our possible outcomes, we draw a two-way table. To draw our two-way table, in our first column, we write down all of the possible outcomes for our dice. And in our first row, we write down all of the possible outcomes for our spinner, A, B, C, and D. To find all of the possible outcomes, we combine each column and row and fill in all of the blanks in your sample space. Let's have a look. Can you fill in this yourself? Please pause the video and see if you can fill it in on your own. Okay, now that you've tried to fill in your two-way table on your own, let's see if you're correct. What are all of the different things you could have got? What are all of your different results when you roll a dice and you spin a spinner? Well, I can get a 1 and an a 2 and an A. I can roll a 3 and spin an A, or a 4 and spin an A. I can roll a 5 and spin an A, and a 6 and spin an A. To fill in your sample space, you combine the row and the column. Let's keep going. We could also roll a 1 and spin a B. Roll a 2 and spin a B. Roll a 3 and spin a B. Keep going. Roll a 4 and spin a B. A 5 and a B. A 6 and a B. Have you got them right so far? Let's try and finish this off. We could also roll a 1. So read the row and read the column. I could roll a 2 and spin a C. I could roll a 3 and spin a C. I could roll a 4 and spin a C. Let's finish this off. I could roll a 1 and spin a D, roll a 2 and spin a D, a 3 and a D, roll a 4 and spin a D, roll a 5 and spin a D, roll a 6 and spin a D. We have now listed all of the possible results, all of your possible outcomes if you roll a dice and spin a spinner that has 4 sides. Our question asks, how many different results are there? To find out your number of possible outcomes, we add together all of the spaces in your two-way table. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I have 24 possible outcomes. If you have not done so already, please pause and take this example down.